Welcome to a new edition of the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino. On this episode, we talk with veteran journalist, activist, and author Fritznel Octave. Born and raised in Haiti, these days he lives in the United States, but stays actively involved to broadcast the overshadowed and undermined history of Haiti. His work depicts his very unique approach, extensive research, and a deep understanding of human psychology. He started his career in the mid-1990s as a host and reporter at radio Vwa Fawes, Voice of the Far West. It's a community radio project boasting program outreach based in northwestern Haiti. From there, things have progressed well in his life. He explains all of this and more. Enjoy this interview.
Hey, thank you for taking a minute out for the show today. I appreciate it.
All right, no problem. A pleasure to be with you.
So let's begin here with, you're a very active person. You're a veteran journalist, activist, and author. And I'm curious, how did you do over this last 2 years of COVID? How did you make it through, and how did it change you?
By nature, I'm a very optimistic person. So, of course, the pandemic, as it did for every one of us, is still alive. It has changed a lot from our routine and the way we used to live. But I kind of hang in there, regardless of the situation. So I always find find what's good I can get from it and move on.
So you're originally from Haiti, and I heard a little while back, I interviewed a musician that does a lot of relief work there, and he said that Haiti has the lowest suicide rate in the world, and I found that very interesting. And he just explained how the people there and just kind of the temperament and how things work, and I just found that very interesting.
Yeah, by nature, Haitians are very resilient people and very creative, hardworking, always find a way to. I guess it's come with the territory. From the hardship they endure during slavery, it's always now. So it's always a fight. Haitians need to always to fight through life. And every aspect of life, they have to fight. So, I guess this kind of condition, builds the resiliency, and then, regardless of the situation, they find a way to get through it, and they don't let the situation determine their future or how they can live their life. Or they will enjoy with nature. They will enjoy with to music, to art, sports, and whatever. I mean, in the situation where most people on this planet will probably kill themselves, so Haitians will find the good in it and run with it.
So if you were at a career fair right now and you were in front of a bunch of grade school kids and one of them looked up at you and said, "What do you do for a living?" How would you answer that?
Okay, but I mean that's a $1 million question. Because $1 million question is right now. I would say ever since I moved to the U.S. Almost 20 years ago, so I mainly do my living from insurance sales. I mainly do my living from insurance sales, but I still stay actively involved in what's going on back home and as a journalist by trade.
So growing up in Haiti, talk to me a little bit about growing up and getting these desires, this motivation that you have to write and to be a journalist and to be a very highly motivated person.
Can you repeat the question again for me, please?
So I'm just curious about your childhood. What was your childhood like in Haiti, and how did you get this desire to write?
I grew up in very remote. I'd say remote in terms of, not really in terms of distance, because Haiti is small. Haiti is the size of Maryland, so it's not a big country in terms of distance from one place to another. But the difficulty with transport, with infrastructure and all that, make the condition very difficult from one for you to travel from one area to another. So the village I was born and raised and grew up to age 12, you consider it remote because there's basically, at the time I was growing up in the early 80s, there's no government infrastructure present, no presence of government, as far as I would say. So every family, they were living in the village like in mutual aid, among themselves, because they lack self-governing, I would say, because you don't have presence of government whatsoever in any shape or form. So it's mainly agriculture, farming, mostly, and you have missionaries coming from time to time to help people in the village build schools, especially the Christian churches, Protestant churches, at the Baptist missions, especially, and that's I was basically from middle school, from elementary school to middle school, going to a Baptist faith based school, and that's from there. At the age of 12, you will get stuck, basically. So to go to high school, there's no really Sun High School in the area. So if the parents want good education for your kids moving forward, past middle school, so you need to find either go into one of the big cities. Yeah, and for my area, I would say Port-au-Prince or Gonaïve. These are two major cities that will have the school to continue to pursue your education. So I left my village at 12 to go to Port-au-Prince and to further my education. And then that's basically the time that's really from 12 to 16, 17. That's when I really I really get to that desire to become a journalist, because I was concerned about how people in villages like where I was born and grew up to age 12, they isolated from the rest of the country. In Port-au-Prince, most of the reporters, they will be, doing their job just around Port-au-Prince, and they don't worry about the rest of probably 70 to 75% of the population, where the real people live, with their real life struggles and all this kind of issues. And in my mind, I say I need to become a reporter so I can go to the mountains and go everywhere to report people's story, to give them a voice. Not that you didn't have any journalists at all, any reporters covering some of those issues people are facing, like health issues, women issues, the agricultural issues, and so on, that concern the real people in the country. But then it was so overshadowed, so you feel like there should be more people, a lot more people, and then to give the majority of the population a voice.
So what is it that you like the best about being a journalist?
The fact that I can be a microphone. I can be a microphone for those who don't have the opportunity to tell their own story.
So, who have been heroes for you, mentors, people that you've looked up to in your life?
In the trade of journalism, I would say Joe Dimino, who was assassinated in 2000. He was not only a good journalist but a great human being. So I look up to him every day. To me, he's still alive in my life. And also, I had the opportunity to work with a lot of people that supported me, like Vwa Fawes. As foreign journalist, I have Jean-Michel Kawa. He's a French journalist. He worked so many years as a reporter for Haiti and Dominican Republic. So it says this guy is impeccable. So I look up to him as well.
So what's been some of the best advice that you've ever gotten from anybody? Something that you remember and you think about?
Be who you are.
Excellent. So my final question to you is this. Everyone has a version or an idea of who they think you are. Your family does, your friends do, your clients do, but you're the one that's living your life. Who do you think you are?
For myself, the way I see myself someone who's genuine, or someone who try hard not to tell people what they want to hear, but what the truth, at least what I sense the truth is from the bottom of my heart, and be compassionate. So I have a heart for people, especially those who's been neglected for some reason or the other.
I guess
I love people in general.
Yeah. I guess I do have one more question for you, and it's this. Mm-hmm. For all the people that have been affected by your work, what's been one of the best responses that you've ever gotten from somebody?
I mean, in the world I'm working right now, in the insurance world, in the insurance business, I always get a thank you from people that if I didn't explain them this program well enough for them to make the engagement to take it to protect the family, and then their life would have been way different than it is at some point. So that's one thing. And then in my work as a journalist, so people always coming back to tell me thank you for being able to take their story to the world.
Beautiful. Hey, before we go, I want to know if anyone wants to know more about you and your work, your writing, anything related to what you do. Where's the best place for them to go on the internet to find out?
The best place for them to go, I'll say my website, FritznelOctave.com. I got platform on Google. So they should be able to pull a ton of work I've done from early 90s up to today. And also, so my book actually Haiti between pestilence and hope, published in July. It's just a couple months ago. Is all over the world. It's been sold on Amazon and Barnes and Noble, Google Books, and Grams. Anywhere the books are sold, they can find it. And then this is basically, I would say, most comprehensive of what I do in terms of
Wonderful.
In the business of information.
Wonderful. Fritznel, it's been great to get to know you. Thank you for opening up. Good luck with everything. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thank you, Abby. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for tuning into another famous interview with Joe Dimino, where we cover the world of art, literature, and music around the globe. If you want to hear more interviews, visit the Famous Interviews with Joe Dimino channel on YouTube. Thanks again for listening, and until next time.